Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Swami Srila Prabhupada. ISKCON Beauty Sansthavakacharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Paripatacharya. Ashtotra Siddha Shri Srimad Divine Grace. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananda Kori Vaishnava Bhakti ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Hidayat Gaur Premanande. All glories to the Sangha. All glories to the Sangha. All glories to the Sangha. All glories, all glories, all glories to the glorious feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, text number 18. So please repeat after me. Mayi anapainya adya pakvagunamshya upayasyatha madhama nirvidya niraya adaha athamaya pavinyam adya pakvagunamshya upayasyatha madhamam nirvidya niraya adaha athamaya pavinyam ya pakvagunamshya upayasyatha madhamam nirvidya niraya adaha
Atavaya Adayanya Bhaktya Bhakva Gunashaya Upayasyatha Madhamama Vidya Niryatataha Atamayan Payinya
Bhagavatam Yatha Upayatha Madhama Nirvidya Nirayadataha
Atamai anakainya
Athamai Anapainya
gunasaya
Bhaktya Pavaka Gunashaya
aya yatamar dama
Yatha Madhama
vidya nirayar ataha
Nirvidya Nirayadataha Athamai Anapainya Dhamma
anyone understand?
Athamai Anapayina Bhaktya Pakva Gunashaya Upasyanata Madhama Nirvidya Nirayadataha
Please repeat. Atha, therefore, Mayi, Anapainya, without any deviation,
without any deviation.
yeah,
With the
devotional service,
devotional service.
Pakvaguna,
Yeah.
free from material contamination,
Contamination.
Ashaya,
Your mind.
Syatha,
Upasyanata
Nirvidya,
Nirvidya
completely detached.
completely detached. Nirvayat
Existence.
material existence. Thus
Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, translation, please repeat. Thereafter,
thereafter
in the letter,
develop
unadulterated devotional service.
unadulterated devotional service.
And be free from all material contamination.
All material desires.
At that time, being completely unattached
Completely unattached
to material enjoyment
to material enjoyment
in the so-called heavenly planets,
in the so-called heavenly planets,
as well as in hellish planets, you will return home. Back to Prabhupada by Srila Prabhupada. By the grace of the Lord, the Prachetas were given special facilities. Although they could live millions of years to enjoy material facilities, they still would not be deviated from the transcendental loving service of God. Being thus fully engaged, the Prachetas would be completely freed from all material attachment. Material attachment is very strong. During one life, a materialist engages in acquiring land, money, friends, society, friendship, love, and so on. He also wants to enjoy the many times after the annihilation of the body. If one is engaged in devotional service, however, he becomes unattached to all kinds of material enjoyment and suffering. In the material world, those who are elevated to the higher planetary systems are supposed to enjoy all material facilities, whereas those degraded to lower planetary systems are supposed to live in a hellish condition. A devotee, however, is transcendental to both heavenly and hellish conditions. According to Bhagavad Gita 14.26, a devotee's position is described in this way. Mamjyo vibhicharena bhakti yogena sevati sarunam samdhitayetan brahmaguyaya. One who engages in full service, full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. A devotee is always situated on the Brahman platform. He has nothing to do with material happiness or distress. When one is strongly fixed in devotional service and free from all material attachment, uncontaminated by the material modes of nature, he becomes fit to return home back to Godhead. Although by special blessing, the Prachetas could enjoy material facilities for millions of years, they would not be attached to them. Thus, at the end of their material enjoyment, they would be promoted to the spiritual world and return to God. The word Papapanashayata has special significance, for it means that by devotional service one is able to give up the influence of the three modes of material nature. As long as one is influenced by the modes of material nature, he cannot return to Godhead. It is clearly explained that all planets in the material world, beginning from Brahmaloka down to the hellish planets, are unfit places for a devotee. Padam padam yad padam adhesham, a place where there is danger at every step, is certainly not a comfortable place. The Lord therefore says in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaragati Moksha Mam Veshna Vikamdeya Punarjanma. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, Osanamurti, never takes birth again. Thus there is no profit even if one is promoted to the highest planet in the material universe, Brahmaloka. However, if one is somehow or other promoted to the abode of the Lord, he never returns to the material world. Athamayi anabhayanyam bhaktya bhakvamanashaya upayasya madhyama. Thereafter, he will develop unadulterated devotional service unto me and be free from all material contamination. At that time, being completely unattached to material enjoyment in so-called heavenly planets as well as in the hellish planets, you will return home back to God. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Anjana-Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-Preshthaya Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschat Devasthari Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaurav Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna. So in this verse, who is the speaker of the verse? Who is the speaker of the verse? The Supreme Person here, Godhead, speaking to the child. So here in the previous verse, you read that the Lord has blessed the Chetas to have a very long time of material enjoyment, enjoyment in this world for how many years? 1 million celestials. So 1 celestial year is very long compared to earthly calculations. Our 6 months on this planet is equivalent to 12 hours of heavenly planets. Now you can imagine how many years of enjoyment in this material world blessed by the Supreme God with Prachetas. The question is, did Prachetas ask for it? Did Prachetas ask for it? They only went under the water, following their father's instructions, and did penance for 10,000 years. For 10,000 years of austerity, they get 1 million years of enjoyment in the world. Very good return of investment from material calculation. In the case of Dhruva, he was also given the blessing that you rule for 36,000 years, and at the end, you will come back to me. Similar to what Lord has mentioned to Dhruva, he also told the Chetas here that you enjoy for 1 million celestial years and then you come back. And Srila Prabhupada says in this purport that by the grace of the Lord, the Prachetas were given special facility. What is that? Grace. By the grace of the Lord, the Prachetas were given special facility. Normally, facilities are given to people who deserve it. Special facilities are given to people who execute higher duties. For example, every citizen is given some facilities in this country, but Prime Minister, who is the chief executive, supposed to be, so he is given also special facilities by the grace of the Constitution. Here, Law Prabhupada is telling the purport, by the grace of the Lord, the Prachetas were given special facilities. When I was going through this purpose, it is sometimes it could be misleading to the devotees that.
Can you just make the mic a little bit closer?
Okay, is it okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Sometimes devotees, after reading the purport, they can think that The successful devotee is someone who gets the best in this world and in the next. And Prachetas, they got it. Now the question is, having material pleasures is different from enjoying in this material world. Having material pleasures is different from enjoying this material world. When I say enjoying in the material world, there is only one enjoyment. That is called Ananda. That Ananda doesn't belong to this material world. That Ananda is a subject matter of Jiva, Krishna, and Dhamma. That's it. However, when Krishna blesses a special soul, he will be given an opportunity to enjoy this material world. And that enjoyment that a devotee goes to gets is not same as what people try for material pleasures. This is a very subtle difference that we need to understand. Otherwise, we will get into this notion that maybe I should get the moon like Prachetas, if not 1 million celestial years, at least 10 years in my life, I should get material enjoyment so that I don't regret that I didn't live a good life. No, this is important. Now the question is, how one can enjoy in this material world? One can enjoy in this material world only in relation to Krishna. Only in relation to Krishna. Suppose, now, people, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that people acquire many things in this life, in this world, to enjoy. In the name of enjoyment, they get many things. And what are those? Prabhupada says, a materialist engaged in acquiring land, money, friends, society, friendship, love, and so on. Even though he acquires these things, he cannot enjoy. Just like, you want to have a very big building. But as soon as you have the building, then you will have to buy an insurance policy, and you have to make sure. See, sometimes people say that, what is this? You should have a palace for government. I will say, this is not enough for some people. Hey, for this building itself, we have 32 cameras. And for this itself, we have 16 people who have the access. If somebody wants more, then they can't do it. So, yes, we have certain limit, but our desires are unlimited. But even if you acquire those things, you cannot enjoy because that is the nature of the material world. The tools for enjoyment are available in this world, but we don't have capability to enjoy this material. This one should recognize. You will only get capability to enjoy those tools in this material world only when you use these tools in the service of Krishna. For example, again, if you want to wear a nice ornaments, gold ornaments, yes, you can wear, you can be happy. But who is that Mataji wears 30 sovereigns of gold on the body, walks on the street in a peaceful mind? She always thinks, I hope someone doesn't come. I hope someone sees me and become envious. I hope they don't ask money from me. So many thoughts. So what is the enjoyment that someone feels or gets wearing so much gold on the body, isn't it? But at the same time, when someone uses the same material opulence, gold or whatever, building or anything, in the service of Krishna, that person gets happiness. That is called satisfaction. So, what we have to remember in this case, Prachetas were given 1 million years, all the facilities, so that Prachetas can use all these facilities in the service of the Lord. Only when we use these tools of enjoyment in the service of the Lord, we get actual enjoyment. That is called enjoying this material world. Otherwise, those who think they are enjoying this material world, they are in illusion, isn't it? Nobody is enjoying. But the fact is, only a devotee enjoys this. Only a devotee enjoys this material world. That means he is enjoying this material world. That doesn't mean that he is enjoying for himself. He knows the art of enjoyment. What is that? He enjoys through Krishna. And as Prahlada says in Sharad Canto to Lord Vishnu, Naivatmana Prabhayam Nijalava Purno Manam Jana Adhuru Karuna Pranite Yajno Bhagavate Vidadi Tathima Tachatmani Yatha Tachatmani Yatha means Nijalava Purna means the person who deserves all this happiness is Krishna because he's a Bhagavad. And we have certain tools or resources to this material world. Even though they are temporary, they can be used in Krishna's service. Everything can be used in Krishna's service, but Krishna doesn't need anything what you have. So she does like so that means everything can be used in Krishna's service, but he doesn't need anything from this material world. Now, the question is, how do we get this blessing that we also can enjoy in this material world? When I say enjoying in this material world, feeling happiness on account of Krishna's enjoyment. As Prahlada says, he gives us an example. What is that example? When there is an image, that image is due to the real person, Pratibimba. If you go and look at the mirror, you see image in the mirror. If the original person is decorated, the Pratibimba is decorated. Then the Pratibimba enjoys, isn't it? You getting the point? So, basically, enjoying in this material world means offering everything to Krishna. And when he enjoys, then he has satisfaction. So, Prachetas were not given 1 million years to enjoy this material world, just like how materialists want to enjoy. How materialists want to enjoy, we need to give that time. For those people, 100 years is enough. Who are those? For those who want to enjoy this material world, independent of Krishna, for them, 100 years more than enough. Or even they bring forward their own expectancy because of their sensitivity tendencies. So basically here, Lord is giving an opportunity for Prachetas to engage in Yukta Vairagya. Engaging Yukta Vairagya. What is a Yukta Vairagya? Utilizing everything in the service of the Lord. Now the question is, when Krishna doesn't need anything, you just have to sit in one corner and chant Hare Krishna, that is everything. He doesn't need to, accept your valuable gifts, big structures. He doesn't need, isn't it? Then why Lord is giving this Yukta Vairagya? He could have told Prachetas that if the ultimate goal is anyway to go back to Godhead, why can't we go now itself? Why should Prachetas wait for 1 million years? It's celestial years, and why do I have to wait for 36,000 years? If the ultimate goal is to reach back to Godhead and enjoy that uninterrupted, risk-free enjoyment, that ananda which never ends, why can't we just go straight away? And why do we have to spend so many years? If they could have asked Krishna that please don't curse us with this 1 million years of enjoyment. Please take us back. They did not ask. This is exactly happened in the case of Narada Muni also. Narada Muni, after serving the Bhakti Vedantis for 4 months of Chaturmasya, he was actually, what happened? He was given this special mercy by the devotees. And when he was in the forest, when he was meditating, he actually felt that bliss and he had darshan of the Lord. He could see Karma. And he was trying again and again to get that bliss, to taste that back, that bliss. Krishna said, no, you can't do that. You have to pass this life so that you'll be purified of contaminations. Then the question is, now you compare Narada to Prachetas. Now here, Pakva Gunashaya. Pakva Gunashaya means Pakva means something mature. Gunashaya means the contamination of the three moods. See, a devotee has to be completely sterilized or completely become mature from not getting contaminated with these three material. And the maturity is basically comes from suffering. Unless one suffers in life, no one gets maturity. Maturity comes with the age also, and with the age we also suffer. The more we live on this planet, we suffer. And the more you spend time on this world, you get maturity. So you haven't seen anyone in this world that people are so mature without going through tribulations in their life. Opposite, those who have a very deep life, they hardly have this maturity. What is this maturity? When we say maturity, what is that maturity? Children are not mature, adults are mature. In what context we say? Because they can't take decisions properly, isn't it? You are not mature enough to take decisions. Maturity in this world means taking proper decisions. Sometimes to take proper decisions, not only you should have knowledge of the decisions, you should also have experience and realization from the result of the bad decisions so that you take proper decisions, isn't it? So that is maturity. Maturity comes from both angles. And when do we get this maturity and how long we have to suffer or enjoy this material world to get maturity is Krishna's prerogative. It's Krishna's prerogative. When we say it's Krishna's prerogative, that is absolute prerogative of Krishna. If you understand this concept very clearly, then you will never expect anything from Krishna. That's why Vallabhacharya, he gives very important instructions about wisdom. He says that three things are very much essential for progressing on the path of bhakti. One is wisdom, and the second is patience, and the third is surrender. Among the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, even though we have 4 authorized sampradayas, but our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, particularly Rupa Goswami, quotes refers only to Vallabha Sampradaya in his books. He never, Jiva Goswami or anyone, never refers to any sampradaya because Gaudiya Sampradaya is very closely connected with Vallabha Sampradaya. You know, Pushtiman people from Gujarat, they follow this. And of course, we are sitting here because we have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was basically helped by, you know, first Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, isn't it? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And we know we Prabhupada once he told to his devotees in a room conversation. She is from Pushtiman and they're all pure Vaishnavas. So sometimes we shouldn't become fanatic ISKCON devotees that accept ISKCON, there is no way to go back home back to God. Yes, we have very efficient optimal method. That doesn't mean that we criticize or downplay the other. Of course, Srila Prabhupada said that, we have to accept the mood of Mahaprabhu, taking the best name. Mahaprabhu present. So you don't have to worry about it. Srila Prabhupada already present. But anyway, Vallabhacharya says that three things are very essential for spiritual advancement. One is wisdom, and the second is patience, and the third is silence. So Srila Prabhupada also very nicely explains in this context. He says, Vallabhacharya explains wisdom from two angles. One is, the first angle is you should know that Krishna works according to his own desire. Isn't it? You read Bhagavatam. That's the first aspect. That means it doesn't matter what you do, he has his own desire and he works according to his desire. And the second is, never manipulate Krishna with your praise. Because he knows what is best for you. He can smell your desires before you come to God in the environment. You have to think about what to ask. The moment when you think there is someone who is hearing this, who is that? Paramatma. And when you come in front of the deities and then subconsciously you manipulate some prayers and then you offer in front of God, don't they know what you want? He will never listen. So what we should pray that please give me an opportunity that I can please you with whatever I have. If Krishna is pleased, he can give some facility, he can give you some special facility. It's up to his prerogative. That's why Krishna, for sake of this, Pandava's thought, the Lord is actually fighting and basically helping only them. He's basically favoring them. If you look at vanity favor in the war, these 5 children were killed. Pandava's 5 children were killed. And Abhimanyu was killed. And later on, grandson was protected by Krishna. So basically, Vallabhacharya says that Krishna is having a plan for every devotee. And his plan is the best because he is the best. So rather trying to waste time offering various prayers to improve our comfort in this material world, we just say that I've got this life, I've got some tools for enjoyment, and I should basically use these in service, like Krishna are giving a special blessing. Then, if Lord is pleased, He will give us the same special blessing. So, what we have is basically counterfeit. You understand what is counterfeit? Currency? Counterfeit means nakli currency. Whatever facilities we have, what facilities we have? Janma, Aishwarya, Shri. These facilities, Krishna doesn't need to be personal. These facilities come from material nature through punya, isn't it? We have different degrees and different varieties of these 4 things, isn't it? Someone takes birth in a good family. For everyone, his family is a good sense. Aishwarya, someone has some riches, particularly those live in the Western countries or in opulent places in India and anywhere in the world. They have these 4 things. These 4 things you should know that as long as you have tendency to engage these things in Krishna's service, they remain as counterfeit. Means nakli currency. If anyone holds this wrong currency or illegal currency, immediately government will come and arrest, isn't it? Don't you feel? Suppose if you are holding a lot of nakli currency or illegal currency, they will come and arrest you. But if government says that's all right, whatever you have, you will convert it into white. So now you enjoy. That is called Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya should not become a principle for a devotee. Yukta Vairagya is just a temporary means to get rid of what we got from our previous union. So you should apply Yukta Vairagya to only those things that you have got from your previous karma, previous punya. But if you think that this principle is good because I am having some comfort in the material world, so now let me work very hard in this life to parishrama, get things, and anyway I know how to engage things in Krishna's service. Those things will actually harm. Those things will actually harm. So Yukta Vairagya is a very dangerous phenomenon and can be misunderstood by many devotees and mishandled by devotees also. That's why those who misunderstand the principle of Yukta Vairagya, Krishna takes them away. Imagine, through material energy, through your punya, because of your pious activity, you have Janma, Aishwarya, Sudhasri, but they will be taken away. That is actually special mercy of Krishna. Yasyam anugrahami harishadhanam shanai. Nothing will be taken by anyone. Everything has a process. If you have acquired something, you should enjoy and suffer. That's all. Krishna will not interfere. But if Krishna is personally interfering in your life to take those things from you, that is special mercy. He has special mercy in both ways. If you put your hand in the ice, you get frostbite. If you put your hand in the fire, you get fire burn. In both ways, you suffer. Doesn't matter what is the result will be the same, isn't it? So similarly, special mercy could be taking away everything. Special mercy could be giving a million celestials to enjoy. So then, you should not choose what special mercy you want from Krishna. Please leave it to him. To their best, they are the best decision makers. Please leave it to them. What special mercy you want to have from him. So then the question is, Prabhu, I have a lot of some wealth and I have some nice beauty, I have good health and everything. Do you think Krishna will take away these things from me? Because you said that if Krishna is very merciful, he will take away. I don't want that mercy from Krishna at this stage. Some people subconsciously they go in front of the yeah, after this Shyamananda Sadhya class, Krishna, please make sure that I am not able to digest that special mercy. So better I don't want that says special mercy. Don't worry. He will never take it from you because he doesn't want them. Who wants it all frivolous, contaminated stuff? He doesn't want. Do you know when he takes them? Do you know when he takes those things from us? He will take those things from us when you want to get rid of this, but you can't get rid of because they are holding. Sometimes we hold on to them and later they hold on to us. You understand? Suppose if I am holding on to this, I can release whenever I want to release it. But sometimes things capture us. Even if you want to get released, they can't. Then if someone comes and then pulls that object that you want to get it up, but they don't want to give it up, then what? Krishna, you are so kind. Yes. Earlier I was holding on to these. Now I understood that actually I am powerful. You know, if you give a fire, if you give hot iron rod, a person who is mentally deranged, he will come and hold. It doesn't matter for him. He doesn't have discrimination. You understand? But when someone says it, immediately snatches it. He will say that madness. So earlier we were holding because of our madness. But when we become knowledgeable, mature, then they hold on to us. That's why it is very good and process. Material nature is very sticky. You know, sticky. Sometimes there is a rat trap. They put a glue, a sheet, you have glue, and then rat just passes through that. It tries to come out, but the more you try, it becomes very sticky. This material world is like that. Before that, you get into that. Once you get into that, very difficult to get out of Maya's trap. But then what Krishna does is, I will take it from you. At that time, you bother least when those things are taken away from you. That means
you sufficiently feel pain because of these assets. And you are sufficiently praying to Krishna that who will help me to come out of this trap because it is holding on to me. Then, after hearing our prayers sincerely, Krishna, yes, that is called special mercy. That what is special mercy here? Even though you can't take out yourself from that trap, someone is waiting. That is Krishna. Remember that trap. No one can actually release you from except Krishna. Except Krishna. This is his special mercy. Then Madhuracharya says patience. You know what is a patience? People have different definitions of patience. Madhuracharya gives very good definition of patience. He says patience means tolerating adharmic, adibhautik, and adidaivic, adharmic, and adibhautik. And he says that he also gives the process how we should tolerate these three things. He says you should tolerate adidaivic like a queen selling buttermilk. Takravat. He says in his point, like a queen selling the buttermilk. Then you see him, Prabhu, why queen has to sell buttermilk? And how do we basically tolerate adidaivic like this way? So he gives great purpose to this. There was a queen in Ujjain. It is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. He says there is a queen, but the queen is not a good character. Queen is not a good character. So she had extramarital affairs with somebody. She had a lover. And then the lover advised the queen, now you somehow, we can't tolerate this fellow, your husband. So try something so that he will be out of our way. Then they plan such a way that queen will feed poison to the queen, and then she takes all the jewelry and runs out of the palace, and then they go away and then enjoy. So then what happened? She told her Parama that you wait outside the kingdom, outside the city. Then I will do this for my husband. Once he dies, I will come with the jewelry and then let's go away and enjoy. Then what happened? This is Vithi. Vithi is the providence. And she executed the plan and she killed her husband with a poison. And then she took away whatever jewelry and then she ran. By the time she came out of the outskirts of the city, unfortunately her lover was bitten by a cobra and he was also dead. Nagar. Imagine, she killed her own husband with the poison, thinking that she will enjoy with her friend, whatever lover, but he also was killed by a snake. Then what happened? She was having a lot of gold. Imagine you are having a lot of gold and no support. What will happen? Anyone can exploit. You are having gold, and women also, when she's alone, she can be exploited by people, isn't it? Then a group of thieves came because she was very afraid, and she ran into the forest. And thieves live in forests. You know why thieves live in forests? Nowadays, thieves are coming to mainstream cities. They actually live in forests because people travel through the forests. When they travel, they carry. You carry maximum amount of money when you are traveling, isn't it? Not while you are living, everything will be in the bank balance. But when you travel, you carry. That's why the thieves live in the forest. So when this lady went into the forest, they plundered, they exploited her, and they sold her to a prostitution house. What a providence, what a adidaivic suffering she's going through. And then, because she's sold and she's a, like a slave, and then she spent as a prostitute in the facility for many years, and then, unfortunately, one day, her own son, the prince of the kingdom, became her custody. And she came to know about it. That was a shock of her life, and she decided to commit suicide. And she ran into a crematorium, and after when someone puts the fire, they won't stay. Actually, only a person who lives in the crematorium, they will stay after putting the fire to the fire, then the whole family leaves. Then this lady, she ensured that all the family members slept, and then she jumped out of the funeral pyre of somebody else. Then she got caught because she was not habituated. She's not committing something out of whose dead body was that. So she couldn't tolerate the burning pains, and then she was running, and then she landed up in a cowhead village, and then somehow they treated her. She started selling buttermilk with all the cowhead. So one day, all the cowhead women, they were carrying these pots of buttermilk, and then they fell one upon each other, and then they thought, oh, our lightning, they got it. And everyone was crying, and this lady was laughing. And they asked, why are you laughing? And Vallabhacharya says that, I have nothing to cry. I have cried enough in my life. Nothing can make me cry from now on. I can only laugh. So Vallabhacharya says, you should tolerate Adidaivic suffering just like this queen said. I don't think anyone has this orchestrated Adidaivic in anyone's life. But when Acharyas give comment, they take this perfect example and he says, how we should tolerate Adi Bhautik. He says, Jadavat. Jadavat means like Jadavarata. You should tolerate the sufferings from other people like Jadavarata. How? He was dealing with them so detached way so that they don't become, but he doesn't become trapped in this karma cycle, isn't it? That's why if anyone wants to get rid of this material world and go back home, back to Godhead, the first thing that he does is he's least bothered by the interactions of the society people, including devotees. Who is criticizing, who is not criticizing, who is praying, who is praising, nothing. Because he knows my business is to get away anything. That's what Java. Until what time? This is an extreme example. Until the dacoits wanted to kill him, sacrificing for Mother Kali. What happened? He was not even protesting. We protest immediately when we hear from the 10th person that someone was talking about that. Here in Jagadhara, he is getting the topmost Adibhautik pain, isn't it? From his own, after his father passed away, his brothers were troubling him, isn't it? The people who are ridiculing him, no one was giving any respect. And in the dacoits, they wanted to sacrifice him for Mother Kali. But Mother Kali came and chopped all the dacoits because it's a Mahabharata. And then Vallabhacharya says, this is about Adi. Then he says, how should we control our mind, the suffering from mind and senses, like the Gopabharya, means like the gopis. How? When Krishna played the flute, all the gopis, they rushed towards Krishna for his association. And they sacrificed all the family relationships. They cut and then they went. And then Krishna also discouraged them. What are you doing in the dead of this Rajani? Rajani is at night. He says that we shouldn't be coming in. You know how much tolerance that they need to have over their mind and senses to sacrifice their family and also get this sweet criticism from the Lord. So that's what he says. For us, to get this Yukta Vairagya principle, you need to be very patient. You need to be very tolerant. Until we get to the platform, Krishna will not give us special mercy. What he has given to Prachetas. So, Prachetas were really enjoying as if they were enjoying in the heavenly planets. A rich person, whether he goes to a small country or a big country, he tries his best to maintain the standard of living, isn't it? Similarly, these Prachetas, they were living happily. Not an illusion. They are really enjoying because they are engaging these things in Krishna's service. So if you are ready to engage in Krishna's service, then what happens? Krishna can give you more facilities. Krishna can give you prolonged life. And one mantra says in this context that Pakva Gunashaya means he is not yet purified of the gunas yet. And that purification is not sufficient to be purified in 100 years of one's life. That's why we prolong life. If anyone reached the purification by doing devotion, he doesn't need to live for a long time. But if you have not yet purified of this contamination, Krishna can elongate your duration of life. This is a special mercy. Otherwise, the Prajatas have to go through different lifetimes. You know how many lifetimes one has to go through for 1 million celestials? Hundreds of janmas. Hundreds of janmas. What is the risk when you change the body? You forget past life. So there is a bit of risk you carry from each janma. By the time you land in 100th janma, risk many things. And finally, you may forget even Krishna what to do. And someone has to remind you, just like this Chittamani prostitute reminded Bilomangal Thakur. It's very risky. Very risky. That's why Bilomangal Thakur was given 657 years to live. Remember? Prabhupada mentions in Adilila Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is one Acharya, he physically lived for over 600 years on this planet. Because there was a brief period of time wasted with Chittamani. And now Chittamani reminded him, now he wanted to live. Basically, he didn't want to live, he wanted to glorify Krishna. Because he was having intense glorification of Krishna, he just didn't bother whether he has to live. That's why Bhaktivedanta Thakur says this blessing, isn't it? One who is a parama, like a devotee. What blessing is it? You know the 4 types of blessings? Jivova Marova. Jivova Marova means either you live or die, doesn't matter to you. Because when you live here, you enjoy with Krishna. And when you die, you also enjoy with Krishna there. So it doesn't matter whether you live or die. Then when he goes to the brahmachari, he says, Mamara Jivova. Means don't die because this itself is everything for you. Just try to enjoy because your future is very bleak. And when he goes to the butcher, Ma Shiva Ma. Isn't it? So these are different blessings. So doesn't matter. So imagine when you get some facilities for Yuktavakaya, they are not from your punya. You will never fall down when something is given to you and you use that in the service of Krishna. But you may fall down in the process of using whatever you got from your previous sermon and use it. There is a risk there. Because Krishna is giving 1 million celestials of enjoyment, and he even foretold that you will come back to me and not get entangled. So they will be. Now the question is, will they be having the detachment in enjoying, or what can happen? You getting my point? Suppose now they have got 100 million celestials. So from external point of view, how will they be enjoying? How will they be enjoying? Surrounded by big celestial offerings, the food up, but he's starved because he knows that this is nothing to do. Now, they will be enjoying better than this material world. And that is called special Rajoguna that a devotee requires to enjoy. And that Rajoguna is given by Krishna. That is called pure Rajoguna. Because unless you are Raja, you cannot enjoy this. You cannot develop the symptom at all. You will be very detached. It's Rajoguna. So he gives them, and they don't even know that actually they are getting detached. Actually, Krishna takes them away. When the right time comes, he will go back home back. So in this way we can pray Krishna that don't ask for things that I know how to use in Yuktavaya. Just try to manage with whatever you have. When you are struggling, when Krishna sees you struggling, If he wants to add something to you, he will add. If he wants to take something from you, he will take it. Don't worry. So, as Vallabhacharya says, that Krishna go with his own plan, with his own desire, and let me not manipulate him with his desires. That I want this, I don't want that. Be patient. Like, tolerate these three kinds of suffering. For example, sir, Takravat means like a queen selling the butter, and Jadavat, like Jadavat, Bhagavatam, the glories of okay. Yes, no problem. What is time for say any questions or comments?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Very analytical class, Prabhu. In the practical day-to-day life, how can we develop unadulterated pure devotional service? How? And the second question is, what the pure devotees have a maturity level to thinking of living to detachment from all this material world. In this practical life, what we are doing, how we are going to come up with that as well.
So your first question is?
Day-to-day life now, what we are living now, how we are going to develop unadulterated pure devotion?
Okay. Pure devotion is actually the prerogative of Krishna and Vaishnava. We should never think that just because I sadhana, I get better. Just because I do sadhana, I get better. As long as a devotee has this opinion that my sadhana is giving me pure devotion, then Krishna and Vaishnavas will never do it. But then the question is, how to get this kripa from Krishna and Vaishnavas? Because our sadhana. It's a catch-22. So what type of sadhana we should be doing that attracts the mercy of Vaishnavas and Krishna? Actually, Krishna is a free person. He has delegated everything to everyone. He has delegated delivering conditioned souls to the Vaishnavas. You understand? He has given the power of attorney to the Vaishnavas. So, if you are in the jail, for you, jailer is not very important. But the important person is someone who has the key of the jail. Sometimes you think if I please somebody because he's a top person, no. One who has more power is powerful person. So who is the most powerful person? Who has the key to this material? And who has the key? Vaishnavas have the key because Krishna, jailer has given this to Vaishnavas, and then if anyone wants, just open it. And they are very kind. Actually, Krishna has given to wrong people. They are very merciful. But their mercy is very easy. How easy that is? As long as you want mercy, they give you. As long as you want them to recognize your sadhana, they will not give you. You understand? Sometimes in association, yes, we also serve, we also associate with Vaishnavas. We expect the Vaishnava who's supposed to give mercy to us, we expect that they should recognize my sadhana, my level of hard work. Then, unless they recognize, they will not give mercy. So we act in such a way that our sadhana is visible to those people who give mercy. And as long as that is visible, of course, it will be visible when it is done. But when it is visible, for sake of visibility, if you do sadhana or any service to get the mercy, to get out of this material world, they will not give you mercy. They will not give you mercy. So, this will only happen when you sincerely recognize that the spiritual master, the Acharya, is a representative of Krishna. Then it is a very deep point. Representative of Krishna means you are not thinking him an ordinary at all. So, yes, so we should not be working towards having this visibility either in the eyes of Krishna or Guru or Vaishnavas. Then what should we be doing? Prabhu, whatever we do is visible. What should we do? We should actually pray intensely. That is during our japa. All our activities in our devotional life has one weight. Has one weight. All our devotional activities as a preacher, as a manager, as a cook or a pujari, this has one weight. And the other weight is your attitude in your own bhajan, in your own chanting. That's what Prabhupada says in Night of Instruction. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the Guru. What is the attitude? This attitude, we think that, oh, this is the attitude that I exchange with the devotees when I do services. No, this is not the attitude. The attitude is the one that we internalize when we do our bhajan. What is that attitude? I'm chanting Krishna's names, like yesterday Maharaj was beautifully telling, for the pleasure of Krishna. For the pleasure of Krishna. The same weight, that attitude that you have in your own bhajana, the 2 hours of chanting, will be translated due course of the day in different beings. If we don't internalize that attitude, then what we do, we make up that attitude when we are dealing with. When somebody is there, we behave very nicely. When somebody is not there, we behave very different way. In that way, practically, we will never come out of this material. And the second question,
Second question for the talking about the Jada Bharat, unless the pure devotees.
how do we develop that attachment? Isn't it? So our position or our prayer is not about developing detachment. Even a stone has complete detachment. So you don't pray for becoming a stone. So what should say? This Raga Bhakti is spontaneous devotion. The glimpses of Raga Bhakti and the practice of Raga Bhakti doesn't need to wait until you become to the platform of asakti. Even when you are contaminated with material modes, when you are having lustful desires also, you can still maintain the spontaneous attachment to Krishna, but that is variable. That is up and down. So our prayer to Krishna is not to become detached like Jada, not to tolerate the pains like the queen selling the buttermilk, or not to tolerate the body and mind like the Bhagavatam. No, we don't have that. See, our level of detachment is different from others. That's why you should never copy other people's detachment. And you should never copy other people's devotion also into your lives. This is important. So that's why imitation has no role. Imitation can be there to bring about your own tendencies in front of Krishna. Isn't it? So imitation is not very good, but you can keep someone as a role model. That means if you keep a good Bharatanatyam player as a role model, then when you become a very nice Bharatanatyam player, you don't dance like how he dances. You basically live in that dance and then give value to that dance. So we don't want to imitate, but we have role models. So our prayer is not to become detached. Our prayer is attached. Attachment to Krishna. That's why we should always say, when will I become attached to you? Just like a father may have many bad habits, but at the same time he has natural affection for the children, isn't it? Have you seen? A father may be having some bad habits because of his own habits, because of his own lifestyle. But at the same time, when it comes to his own children, he's very affectionate, he's very spontaneous. So, because of our previous karmas, we may have some level of conditioning. please don't wait until this conditioning is finished so that I can develop pure. Now, our prayer shouldn't be that. A father will never go to Krishna and say, who has this? Give me the crude example. Please make sure that my habits are all free so that I develop attachment to my children. But that goes on. Then when he's engrossed with the family members more and more, then his bad habits will stop automatically. So Krishna's bhakti is completely detached from any of these things. It's not that when you become a great scholar, you become a nice devotee of Krishna. It's not that when you become a great sattvic guna, or even if you have bad qualities, you can immediately become a pure devotee. That's like a fisherman. The fisherman, when he touched Lord Chaitanya, when he was at the net, when Lord Chaitanya went into the Bay of Bengal, thinking it is Yamuna, and immediately he touched all, he started chanting Hare Krishna, like Mahabhagavatam. How bad did he practice? So, we shouldn't expect that I want to develop devotion like that devotee, or like this Maharaj, or like this. Every bird is a bird because it can fly. Every devotee is a devotee because we do some service to Krishna. And Krishna is pleased with respect to our body. Let us pray that how we develop attachment. Yes. So detachment will come.
So out of this verse, what we can understand, what blessings given to Prachetas.
So the blessing that Prachetas, you should not converting what prayer, what Lord has given. The question is, can we pray that? Now, our prayer should be, Krishna, please make me capable to convert what I have in your service. So you should never pray Krishna that Krishna, by your mercy, now I understood a little bit Vairagya, but I am happy even if you give me $1 million tomorrow also. No. Don't pray for anything extra, but at least ask him for strength to convert whatever in the 5 elements you got from your previous punya to Yukta Vairagya. So that is a special mercy. Yes. You should pray Krishna for that. How can I engage these things in your service, Krishna? I don't know how to. It's your, because I want to enjoy, I want to serve you. I don't know how to serve you. And you are all expert. Please help me. This is the best prayer. Are there any mistakes? Let there be. Are you going to be purified in this life? No. It could be, but it's not. So, the other level of patience is you must be ready to take millions of lifetimes to get purified. Some people think that, oh, this life itself I have. When we will get that concept that when in this life itself, when you are ready to wait for 10 million lifetimes to be purified, then for him, then what happens? He will get the confidence that in this life itself, he will go back home. That confidence only will be the result of his patience for the next million lifetimes. That's why when devotees pray in Bhagavatam, they cover many angels. So, when you pray Krishna, you don't have to create prayers, but you pray one of the angles which is suitable to you in those prayers. It is not the actual prayer that Prahlada is praying, but one of the elements that he touched, that would be your prayer. Okay, so it is 8:50. We should close the session. Last question.
Thank you for the nice class. Just a question is like it says that Pracheta even for those Maharaj, after enjoying, can you hear me?
Yes.
After enjoying this material world, you go to heavenly planets and they also they're detached, they're not attached to the heavenly planets. So my question is doing the bhakti, or whatever that said, punya, doing the bhakti in the heavenly planets or doing the bhakti in the material world, is it equivalent? And if it's not equivalent, and my understanding is that it's different too. Doing bhakti in the material world is much more important than doing the bhakti in the material world. So that's a lot, all these rishis and sages, they want to come, only demigods, they want to come out of the material world and do practice their bhakti.
Material world is four lokas. So very good question. So the opportunity to do bhakti is there in heavenly planets. In hellish planets also, everywhere. I mean, Krishna's creation, that opportunity is there. Just like oxygen is everywhere. So potential to do bhakti is everywhere. But bhakti is best practiced and ideally practiced in this four lokas, particularly on the earth planet. So there is a sufficient misery, optimal misery. And the lifespan is 100 years, or even less. So that's why even devatas, they try to take birth in this world because we have Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And other important point is, even the devatas who are not yet finished their term, the heavenly planets are in the Siddha lokas, they ask for special mercy of the Lord that please let me take birth during the first Sandhya of Mahaprabhu's. That's why in Kali Yuga, you don't know who is who. He may be a great person from the Siddha Loka practicing, Krishna consciousness. That's why Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, all the followers of Lord Chaitanya, the Nitya Siddhas, they're all, if you remember them, even if you chant their names, you are liberated. Yes, practicing bhakti here. We are very fortunate. We are more fortunate than the inhabitants in the top 6 lokas. Rather, they pray to the Lord that when Lord Chaitanya comes, we should actually be taking birth, even though our journey is still there in the top planetary system. And even if you want to do bhakti there, 100,000 verses is Bhagavatam there. And the class is least attended in the palace of Indra. At least we have few attendance here. Yes, there is Brahaspati is a devotee, so he gives classes also there. He teaches philosophy. Very rarely students go there because they're very busy. Like, sometimes we go for these resorts, I'm not talking about spiritual retreat. If there is a retreat where everyone can enjoy, imagine. So we go to Puri temple. We have nice parikrama. And then what happened? Then devotees said, Prabhu, let us go to the ocean for a bath or something nice and good. So say, imagine 1 hour we have given time. Okay, you enjoy. Suddenly this fellow Shyamananda sits there and talking about Krishna. And then what they feel? Who will go? Only 1 person, everybody will be in the beach. So this is what exactly happens in the heavenly planet. Brahaspati will sit for speaking about Krishna. Hardly 1 or 2 devotees come because everybody is very busy there. It's a resort. You earn money, you go to resort. Heavenly planet say exactly after 10,000 years of lifetime, just like check out this that. You don't even know how you come out. It's like a dream. They sleep and they empty at something. They don't experience death there. They don't experience old age or anything. Just like you don't experience, even though you are suffering, but you don't dream those things when you are enjoying in the resort. This is what it has. So don't ever think that bhakti is easy in the heavenly planets. It's very difficult. So bhakti is easy in Brisbane, isn't it, Prabhu? Yes. Bhakti is easy in Brisbane. Weather is very good. Nice temple, nice president, and nice prasad. We have nice food. Bhakti is easy in Brisbane. Then Brahmaloka.
Thank you.
Even if Brahma wants to speak, we cannot understand, but you can understand my classes or other devotees' classes. Then you say, Prabhu, it's easy to practice bhakti in this way than being in Brahmaloka because his classes are very high level. He speaks all in the court, in the Vedanta Sutra, because he is a Brahma. For us, this is good. Whatever Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, this is more than sufficient. Never ever think that, oh, Krishna comes to the higher. Yes, he comes, that is true. You see him face to face. But after that, you will not practice bhakti, you only see Krishna. Okay, I think we should end.
Just one extension.
Yes.
So when it says that India is the Bharat is the karma bhumi, and the place where Bhagavatam. What is the difference in practicing bhakti in the karma bhumi and the Bhagavatam?
Actually, there is no difference. After Prabhupada, everything is Bhagavatam. Actually, originally it was Bharatavarsha. And then later on, the entire Bharatavarsha is strung to the current India. Now, because Prabhupada has taken the message from India and then spread everywhere. So, every Siberia, Australia, America, everything is Bharatavarsha. So, and sometimes it is easy to practice bhakti here than in India. Some people say that. But of course, from a practicality point of view, here we have a systematic approach. But in India, what happens is, because everything is available very easily, you take it. So, yes, it is good. If you take birth in India, you have a facility, but that doesn't stop you becoming a devotee. So, Prabhupada says that the children of devotees, they are Vaikuntha children, isn't it? Prabhupada is looking at the Saraswati, little Saraswati, sounds to be Prabhupada. This Vaikuntha children. That means even taking birth in London is good because already Prabhupada has brought back the glory of Bharatavarsha, the entire planet. So that means you don't get any disadvantage either here or there. But of course, every Dhamma is that yes, India has special significance, no doubt about it. But for us, Prabhupada's missionary spirit is we don't have to go to somebody's house. But if you work for the master of that house, that master will come wherever you are. You understand? This is called battle. This is our karma bhumi. So in our Gaudiya tradition, karma bhumi is more important than janma bhumi. Means wherever your preaching service is there, that is the service, that is the dhamma. You don't have to go there, but it's good to get inspiration. My Guru Maharaj says that you should go to the dhamma only to get inspiration. Of course, it has tremendous potency, but unless we have the mercy, can't stay anywhere in this. Yes, it is easy. But if you want to utilize everywhere, we have to first mercy. Okay, so we should close the session. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada.